Good day, Glenn, and thank you for your continued support and giving me the opportunity to demonstrate a product. Today I've chosen to demonstrate Trial Interactive solution for electronic safety notifications, which streamline the reportable SAEs to investigators and or ethics committees, for example. Well, at Merck, for our clients, especially those in a global market, this created a huge challenge as our clients' reach needed to extend to multiple sites, sponsors, and often different countries, languages, and time zones. And as you can imagine, maintaining, translating, disseminating accurate reports for each study and notifying all of the parties within such a strict time frame was labor and document intensive, as well as a costly endeavor to our clients. During one of our periodic safety profile reviews, I would partner with our pharmacovigilance specialists, and we'd go through their current process with a goal, obviously, to improve their inefficiencies. One of our clients, and probably the biggest impact, was a client that was using the traditional or the manual process. They were sending out about 1 million different safety documents, and they were either faxing or overnighting or emailing these. They started off with faxing and email. However, it posed such a security risk because it could actually get sent to the wrong recipients and it lacked an audit trail. When they went full board and they tried to close those gaps, they started overnighting all of these different safety notifications. They had about 3,000 different events to over 300 recipients, which was 1 million safety notifications, and it took 3 minutes to assemble each one of these. The cost in overnighting alone was $15 million, and they had to employ 25 full-time employees, which was about $1.5 million. So it was quite a costly endeavor. At this point, we were really in the market for safety databases and medical call centers. However, with the stakes so high and the traditional means of exchanging safety documents for our clients just didn't make good business sense, and the methods they had been slow and costly, and it lacked the ability to track the documents to the intended recipients. We'd agreed to partner with our client and seek a solution. During this process, I partnered with Trial Interactive's TransPerfect, and we developed a solution that was easy to use and streamlined the process and saved them $1 million while keeping them compliant. The solution again is Trial Interactive by TransPerfect, which is a cloud-based system and accessed anywhere through your web browser, which means obviously you can get on this system wherever you have internet access. I'm going to begin by logging into the system. Each user is given a username and password, which gives them rights to the system. What they're allowed to see and do in the system is determined by their security rights. When I log on, I'll be directed to different rooms within the software. For the purpose of this demo, I have one room. These rooms, when our clients joined, were configured during their workshops. So we actually use best business practices, and we'd sit with our clients and we would develop how they were going to organize their rooms and trials. Sometimes clients would want all their trials in one room, or they'd want them governed by different countries or different sites or different compounds. So we would work with them during that onboarding process. When I click on a room, I enter the dashboard of the room, and different menu options become available to me, again, based on my rights in the system. Here we can put in the logos of the company, we can put in different information, we can actually embed links or webinars. We'll also see any expired documents coming expired, again, which are set up within the configurations of the system of when I'd like to be notified, or any documents that are yet to be read. These notifications that I'm receiving on the dashboard can also be sent in to me via email. So you don't have to be a user to the system. I can log on to an email, I can get a notification that takes me to a link, I can get a notification that actually takes me right to the document, or I can be notified when I come into the system, or all three of those notifications again are configured within the system. I'm going to advance over to the sites menu. Here is where all of the sites are kept. For the purpose of this demo, I have 2 sites. And these 2 sites have been linked to this study room, which is our demo room. All of these sites, in addition to your complete site directory, can all be imported at the time of implementation. Project team will have workshops that will work with you and help you bring in all of your study site information in addition to any metadata. So not only will they create the format, but they'll actually scrub the information, normalize any data as necessary. And in my example, I only have 2 institutions, but if I had thousands, which are generally in the system, I can go ahead and organize these for a quick return by country and by our CRA. When I bring in this information, not only will I bring in the country information and the site information specific to that, but I can also bring in documentation that needs to go off to the safety notifications, such as a cover letter that might be specific to that language, or specific trial information can be attached as well. I'm going to advance over to the Documents menu option. For my example, I have set up my documents to emulate the EMA Mod 2 for electronic transfer master files. This setup again is part of the configuration. We work with you in those project managers and we have those workshops, so we can go ahead and set these up as we go along. And this is pretty key as a client comes on, just to make sure that cornerstone is set up for your file organization. If as a customer continues to take on the system and wants to configure this, he can go ahead and make simple changes to the system. He can add folders to the file setup right now. You can click and drag the folders. It's just made very simple for an average user. You also have an option to export all of the files in their current structure with all of the documents within the information, and this plays out very well during an audit. Documents get into the system a few ways. One of the systems, again, is the older way with just email and eFax or WriteFax or fax servers. So a document will come in and a manager or somebody who oversees the safety notifications will get triggered that there has a new safety notification has arrived. He'll come into the inbox and he'll move it up to the safety notification file. Here we have about 5 different safety notifications. Documents can also be batch added through an import function, and here I can go in and I can import several different documents. This worked out very well if customers had like a GXP environment or a server environment, so they can click on a complete folder or file and click and drag them and upload them into the system all at once. You also have the option to add documents one by one in a manual process, so you can come in and you can add the documents, give the documents a comment, a title, a date, and a document types. Document types are very important because these document types will also set up a metadata that will be required and necessary for each document. This metadata actually becomes that much more important as you can compare different documents, or you can run reports based on the different metadata that is imported within these document type folders. When documents get into the system, once they've come in, the next step would be to disseminate these out. So you can go ahead and just click on these different options, or you can select all to email out documents to a single user or to a group. Based on the rights of either that folder, my user group, my role within the system, the documents I see will either have a watermark. I can request that the information is redacted, or if I can forward on information. So again, that's set up within the configuration of the system. You also have an option to view any of the documents by clicking on the documents. You can see the information or how the document looks. In addition to seeing the actual document, you can review any metadata that was set up within the document type of this document. So in this example, the document type is a safety notification. That metadata, as I said, becomes important in the event that you want to compare multiple documents. You can click and drag and compare the documents to see if metadata is a match or not. Well, I'm going to go ahead and click on the safety notification with your name, and I'm going to go ahead and email that out to a recipient such as myself, just so we can see what happens and how the notification happens within the system. So not only have I been set up to get a notification, I can also determine if I want this file to come over as a link or if I actually want it to be data within the body of the email. In my example, I asked that my user be set up to receive notifications via email and a link, as well as a notification in my dashboard. When I advance back to the dashboard, any unread documents would be in this tab and in this area. And when I click on a document and I read it, not only will it track that the document has been read, but how long I spent on each page. So it's a little bit different than what we've seen in our document management software. The requirements are different. It's not so intense. Again, this isn't a document management software. It's, did the document get sent out and how long was a recipient on each page of the document? Obviously, the goal here is that we can go and we can not only track an audit trail, but we can run reports on the different documents to see who's read what, how long things have been read, how many documents were disseminated, and what type of timely fashion these documents were read. If any documents have not been read, they will have an escalation to their managers. These reports can be configured or set up within the system. Right now, my reports are pretty generic. It's, have you read them, have you not? You can click on them, you can drill down into them. All of this is configured within the system. Just like with the dashboards, whatever we have here as far as widgets can be very basic. For our site investigators, we just needed to keep it very clean and very simple. So any type of notifications that we wanted to send out to them were right forward facing, and it was just read or unread. The performance matrix was configured for obviously your different user, your management reviews, and those have performance monitors and indicators. But for the purpose of this, I just wanted to step quickly through how we went from fax and email, how they evolved to overnighting, which was just so much money, and how we took that down to just the cost of the system. And because it was concurrent users, the option for them to be able to receive notification via email was very attractive to them. So again, that's a quick presentation of a simple technology. This simple technology had the configurations within the system to become very, very sophisticated, but a basic technology is what works best for our site surveys.